and Ryan Wood. Can you both talk about your strategy going into this class and kind of what your first impressions were riding behind the backdrop of Central Park?
Do you guys have a strategy?
Well, it was very strategic.
Very strategic.
Stay on the horse. That was our strategy.
Our first round was to just get in the top 6, so we were chancy but not reckless.
We weren't dancing with the devil quite yet in round 1.
So I think we were 4th fastest in the first round, and we went back to the stables and said, "I like Ramo."
We decided to switch up the order because we felt like I could count strides better when Woodsy was going to the last one to get to the first one quicker. But
yeah, mine was a little bit of a slower starter.
Yeah, a bit of a diesel engine, like kind of slow torque, and then once he gets going, he's quick as. But
so we switched.
We switched that. That was a good. We probably did that. And then my fella's 20 years old, just been going novice, so I felt kind of bad for him, like just turning and burning. Halfway around, I was kind of like, "Sorry, mate. Like I normally wouldn't ride you like this," but he was a champion. I mean, he was just unbelievable. Like unbelievable. Just picked himself back up, and so yeah.
Funny thing is, William, that was your old horse.
Yeah, that's no objection. Tasmanian, the Tasmanian Devil. He's come from the Apple Isle to the Big Apple, full circle, 20 years.
Have you retired him now, or?
Yeah, he's a lone ride.
And we'll switch down to our second place finishers, Holly Payne, Caravella, and Boyd Martin. Can you guys also speak to your plan going into tonight's class and how the team component worked for you guys?
Well, I was over the moon when I saw I was partnered up with Holly. Holly always has a crack at these things wherever she's riding, so I knew we'd either go really, really well or we'd bomb out. So we're a bit like Dumb and Dumber here, and just decided to cruise around the first round, and then went back and really decided to have a bit of a crack, and we had a little bit of luck on our side, and it went really well. I was very pleased that Oliver was riding Indian Mill, who's not the best show jumper. And I saw him coming last, so no chance. No chance.
And Holly?
Yeah, I think the first round we just wanted to make sure that we were in the top 6, so I think we took it. I mean, I still got a little bit too aggressive on the first round and jumped an extra jump, but I think the first round we just wanted to make sure that we got through, and then the second round we decided to be a bit riskier and take a couple quicker inside turns and just make it happen. And I mean, it was good. Both works were really good, so it worked out in our favor.
Great. Into our third place finishers, William Boxpit and Oliver Townend. The format tonight is new. It's never been done before in arena eventing. Can you guys talk about what it was like to, one, not only ride as a team in the ring at the same time, but also the format of the class with faults converted?
Nerve-wracking. Myself and William both, the biggest concern was remembering our way. We were going through it again and again and again, and then William ran across and said, "Can you go through it with me?" So but no, it's just an unbelievable setting. We're just very, very privileged to be here, and very grateful to Mark and your whole team for having us here, because we've enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. It has been a very exciting competition, hasn't it? Great fun. I'm not a star at this kind of arena eventing thing, but this has been very special. It's really bringing our sport out there, and hopefully it bodes well for big things to come. Yeah, I was very happy to remember that course because my brain's a bit slow these days, so that was quite tricky. And I thought, especially jumping the same fence twice in different directions was pushing it. But it all worked out. We all went the right way, and we had a happy time, and we're very lucky to be lent some lovely horses, because that is a big deal to be on somebody else's horse. I'm very glad that we didn't cause any trouble, and we're very grateful. So thanking everybody very much indeed.
Yeah, also thank you to Philip Dunn, who I organised through, and I know he's had a bit of a rough time, so hopefully he's seen it anyway, and hopefully I did a good job.
Mark, we'll toss to you. This was the first time we've ever conceptualized something like this and executed in Central Park. Can you talk about, one, the crowd tonight, the enthusiasm was incredible, and two, just hosting a new event like this in Central Park?
Okay, great. Well, thank you. First and foremost, I would like to thank Nadine and David Fight from the Fight Group. They're a new partner here in Central Park, and this event in many ways didn't exist 2.5 weeks ago. Obviously, we had some late cancellations in dressage, and in lieu of trying to sort of rethink that strategy, I called my partner in crime, Michael Stone, and he said, what do we do? And as we've done for 10 years, I think, Michael, we just sort of sat down and tried to figure out, what do we do to sort of make this interesting, and really work with a group of people who are just always ready for a challenge. And I think the eventing group are just always sort of fun to work with. There's no issues, and they were all excited about it. So we got 8 of the top 10 U.S. riders. I think we got 8 or 9 Olympians, and really put this together in a way that I thought was very, very interesting. It's always tricky, so we went to Mark Phillips, who, his first instruction was just, let's make it safe. And they first talked about trying to put together, the course, and I think it was where Michael, who, in many ways, I sort of get a lot of credit for a lot of stuff, but Michael's always sort of the guy that has to execute it and figure out the team, and so he leads a phenomenal group of people that can pull these things off very, very quickly in high quality. And we just figured, okay, let's deal with safety first. Let's do 1-star course. Let's make sure everyone is and we actually took the standard up a little bit and said, let's make sure everyone is a 4-star rider experience, except for Dom. Dom almost fell off his horse, but sometimes, it's the difference between, I'm sorry, am I pointing out?
You told me to get the crowd spiced up.
So
doing my job.
So I think that it was very exciting. So I think that in general, what was very nice about it is I think we put something together that was very safe, and we made an adjustment to the course to start. I mean, Michael and I again were talking during the day and said, originally that first jump was going to be a hard obstacle, and Michael and I made a decision with Mark Phillips to say, let's make it a free jump, so that if the courses come in spooked, they're not hitting something solid. And I had a couple of people hit that first jump, and I think that was a good move. But everyone was safe, and I think the format's very, very interesting. And I'll tell you, I walked around the place, and the crowd was just really, really excited about the format. And again, this is not to replace eventing, 4-star, 3-star, or any other star. It's an opportunity to take who are great athletes and very courageous and gutsy of all the disciplines. I mean, they literally they risk a lot of their body in pursuing this. Passion for them, and I think they deserve to be sort of in the spotlight. And in a city like New York, that I think is the one of the largest media market, I think we can start highlighting this, and I think we want to turn this into at the very least a 3-event series, which would be a triple crown of this event. I am confident this will probably be the biggest money in this country in the sport. I think the sponsors, because you guys can definitely step up next year for more money, right?
Absolutely.
This is going to go on record. Absolutely.
Well, think about it.
Okay. Politician. Anyway, but I think that I actually had a number of people approach me and say, I want in on this. And I think this is going to be something that's very interesting, and I'm very, very excited about it. Michael, you can just sort of touch on the logistics of this.
Yeah, there's a lot of logistics. The jumps only arrived last night at midnight, and we spent half the night unloading them from the trucks that came up from Tryon. Then we had to do the Hunter as well. We had to unload all those jumps, put them up last night, then take them down again after the Hunter competition, then put these all in.
We didn't have space, right?
And we had no space to move them, so it's like a Rubik's Cube. As you can see, the park is quite restricted in where we can put things. So it's like a Rubik's Cube trying to fit the obstacles in and out. But we made it happen. We have a great team. Eric Bull and Mark Phillips worked really hard with us, and the rest of our team, Bobby Murphy and all our jump crew, are very committed to the event and committed to Mark to make these things work. So we got it done.
And maybe, can you just talk about your first year of sponsoring this event and what it means to be involved in the Rolex Central Park Horse Show?
It's been a fabulous experience, and we were thrilled when Mark and his team called us up and asked us if we would be interested in sponsoring the inaugural arena eventing here in Central Park, as both my husband and I are former New Yorkers. So we were thrilled to tie the Palm Beach to New York connection together, and as we have expanded our business into Wellington, Florida, we've been very thankful to be part of Gladiator Polo and now this Rolex Central Park Horse Show, and we look forward to great things to come in the future.
We'll go ahead and open it up for questions.
Dom and Ryan, talk us through your rounds today.
Well, it was a little nerve-wracking, I guess, at times. And oh, sorry. A little nerve-wracking. It's very different. Woodsy and I were just talking. You know, this is so different to what we do week in, week out. You know, obviously we don't go like bats out of hell, taking chances. If anything, every day we spend time trying to train the horses and teach them to be safe and stuff like that. So, you know, we're trying to, you know, put the pedal to the metal, but also be fair to the horses. It's a little bit different, you know, and it's bright and tight in there, and trying. So I think, I know for me, I was my blood was pumping, and I was just trying to react, you know, but also try to give it a good crack. I mean, what are you going to lose? Like, you're just going to have a go and see what happens. So.
Yeah, there was a moment where in the second round, the crowd was amping us up, and then I took a look up at the crowd, and then the lights from the skyrise buildings got my eyes like, bloody hell. We're in the middle of the city. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, did you get here from Australia?
That is true. Yeah, it's a long way from home for us.
Yeah, I think big thank you to Mark and Catherine for putting this on and getting behind our sport. It's huge. Thank you.
And I'll second that too. Big thank you to the flight group. Thanks for coming on. And you know, like I said, this is not. We obviously understand this is not how our sport's going to be day in, day out. But we just kind of, rather than be negative about it, we kind of like the fact that we get to come to a place like this and people get exposed to it. Because we all know if people get a little bite of it and they start realizing how hard it is and how much goes into it, how much we love the horses and look out for them, I think they get addicted, you know, and that's kind of what we want. So, thanks, guys.
What was the most challenging fence?
The last.
William Foxpit stood in front of one that I wanted to jump.
I tell you, they didn't jump that hotel one very well. Yeah. So that one, well, that was one I nearly fell off at. So.
I blame the jump, eh?
I think Boydie struggled with jump one, did you?
Yeah, the free one. No, I thought it was, you know, these things, you know, it's a pretty challenging course, and then it's ultra challenging if you decide to try and do it at speed. So that was I think that's the exciting part of it. Like if you wanted to go around carefully, it was okay, but then you saw in that second round of angling over the narrows, or Woodsy did that inside turn to the corner, or trying to jump these fences out of stride, and obviously the horses are used to, in normal format cross country, of having a couple let up fences and, you know, 30 seconds of galloping, and so it's a very much a different style of riding.
It certainly doesn't ride like a one-star level when you add the speed and you have the tight arena. For me, it's very, very similar to riding around a CIC 3-star as soon as you add the pace in that tight area. So you can forget calling that a one-star, because it definitely isn't.
Okay, that sounds good.
Well,